You're listening to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
It is Thursday, June 6th. Good stuff on deck. Let's see. Blues game tonight.
Blues game. Yep. And it's the 75th anniversary of D-Day.
This is true. Yeah.
All over everything.
History. This day in history.
Yeah.
Saw that.
A lot of really cool stories on social media. So if you're never on social media, today would be a day to browse through the historical stuff, or just read something. I don't know.
Read a book.
I guess
an
you
idea.
could do that too.
We were just before we came on here talking about taking a break from technology because it seems to be rebelling against me today. So
yeah.
Two good stories on deck today. We're going to head over to Cincinnati, Ohio, and learn about how one congregation is reaching out to the community and serving in the community there. Mm-hmm. And Pentecost right around the corner.
Yay.
So we're going to talk Pentecost hymns as well with one of our favorite hymnists. Is that a word?
Sure.
I don't know if that's a word. I like to make up words here, though. Associate Cantor at Concordia Theological Seminary, Fort Wayne. We're going to talk with Matt Mockmer about that. Thanks to Concordia University, Wisconsin for supporting the Coffee Hour. Find out more about them at cuw.edu.
Live uncommon. I was paying attention today.
Good job. Joining us today, Pastor John Suguitan. He's pastor at Prince of Peace Lutheran Church in Cincinnati, Ohio. Pastor John, thanks so much for being our guest today.
It's a pleasure to be here, Andy. Thanks for inviting me.
Cincinnati is one place I've only spent a little bit of time. I think I haven't been there much. I know that Pastor Shave has been there quite a bit and always loves to talk about his time in Ohio. And we get to, and you can hear more of Pastor Shave on the new Mission Field USA podcast.
That's
as
true.
well. New episode came out yesterday, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
so check that out at kfuo.org. So Cincinnati, tell us about the community there, other than the fictitious radio station that made a 1970s and 80s sitcom that we every once in a while, maybe catch an episode for professional development. Tell us a little bit about Cincinnati and the community and what the needs are of that community.
Sure. Well, Cincinnati is a river city located right on the Ohio River. And Cincinnati is right where three states meet, so Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky. And Cincinnati is, at least where we are in downtown Cincinnati, right next to the river and actually reviving the downtown area, is called a neighborhood called Over the Rhine. Over the Rhine. It was a German community originally settled by German immigrants, and there was a canal that was running through our neighborhood, and the canal was referred to as the Rhine by the people that settled there. That canal is now gone, but the name Over the Rhine has stuck. And Over the Rhine, over the years, has changed. The Germans pretty much moved out, and now it has become one of the toughest neighborhoods in Cincinnati. A lot of drug addiction, alcoholism, prostitution, shootings, and homelessness. So that's the neighborhood where Prince of Peace is located. It has since gone through recently gentrification. So it's kind of a very eclectic neighborhood that we live in now, with a combination of homelessness as well as fairly affluent individuals that have recently come back into the city.
That's a very interesting makeup of individuals in the city, and I think that seems to be a theme among a lot of I don't know if I can say post-industrial, but a lot of cities that have the combination of a homeless community and also of people coming back to live downtown again and kind of trying to revive the city. What is Prince of Peace doing to meet the needs of those people that surround that neighborhood?
Sure. So Prince of Peace has a strong ministry to the homeless and has been doing it for quite a while. For example, on Wednesday night, we have a tradition of having a devotion that I lead at 6 p.m. and then a meal at 6:30. We just had it last night. It was widely populated. It's a tradition in the neighborhood. In fact, we serve 10 meals a week to the homeless and poor, free meals. And we have other ministries such as the Bridge Ministry, which serves the homeless and the poor, a place for individual to come in and have coffee, wake up. Like, for example, if you wake up in the morning and I wake up in the morning, we'll have a tradition, of coffee or tea or juice. I go to the bathroom, I kind of wake up. The homeless wake up under a bridge or in a parking lot on some cardboard or an abandoned building. They don't have the things that we take for granted. So the Bridge Ministry is that for them. They know it's their home, a place, safety. We have computers for them to use. We have coffee and juice and donuts and cereal and bagels in the morning. We have Bible study and then a free meal afterwards. We have lots of other ministry to the homeless. For example, we're a cold shelter in the winter. So in the wintertime from December till March, the homeless actually sleep in our undercroft.
Thanks be to God that you're able to provide all of those ministries for the people that are in your community. Tell me a little bit more about the Peace Café. This is a really interesting service that you are able to provide.
Sure. So, number one, we're a church. So we reach out with word and sacrament. We call people to repentance. We preach the good news, Jesus' salvation. But in addition to that, we offer mercy ministry. So it's one thing to say, I love you, brother and sister, I'll pray for you. And but on the other hand, we actually do the things that God told us to do in Matthew 25. So one of the things that people need are jobs. And that's what Peace Café is. Peace Café is three things. Number one, it's a breakfast and lunch cafe located in the Clifton neighborhood, right next to the University of Cincinnati campus. And number two, it's a job training and placement module. So we partner with Jobs Plus, which is a ministry here in the inner city of Cincinnati that gives classroom training to individuals who would like to get a job, employment. And then once they go through the 10 classes with Jobs Plus, then they come to Peace Café, and then we give them on-the-job training. And then number three, it's a church plant. So we have Bible study and worship. We're closed on Sundays. We're open Monday through Saturday, but we're closed on the Sabbath.
Where did the idea for the Peace Café begin, and then how did it take shape?
Well, really two motivations for the starting of Peace Café. Number one, as I was saying before, we realize after serving with the homeless for such a long time that there are certain basic needs that's needed. Shelter, housing is one, employment, mental health services, drug and alcohol addiction. So out of that, knowing that people need jobs and education, Peace Café became a vehicle to provide it. And then number two, I attended a conference in Austin, Texas called the 5-2 Conference, and I heard stories of lots of other pastors and other lay leaders that have started social enterprises such as Peace Café.
How has the Peace Café accomplished, done what you've set out to do? Share with us the story of how it's made a difference for someone.
Sure. So first off, it is a work in progress. We just opened last November. So as you might expect, starting a social enterprise such as a restaurant is a difficult process. I knew it going into it, but I'm living it now. But having said that, we do have 3 stipend-based individuals, and that's what they get as a stipend. It's an educational module, so it's on-the-job training. And so we have three individuals, 2 men and a woman that are currently in the program that work at Peace Café. The 3 individuals are Zali, Matt, and Tina. And so all 3 work at Peace Café. Each has their own story. Matt was featured in a story on The Reporter, and there's also a video of him witnessing his involvement at Peace Café, and he's got a strong story. Here's an individual that went to the Ohio State University, has a degree in computer technology, and yet had some issues having to do with alcohol. And so he struggled, lost contact with his family, and lost his place of residence, and then went to a local shelter in Cincinnati called City Gospel Mission. After going through their program, we have at least contacts with City Gospel Mission, and they referred him to us, and he's been a strong member of not only a Peace Café, but Welcome Home Collaborative, a transitional housing program that we also run.
What has been the outcome of all of these services that you're able to provide for these people? What has been the difference that it's made in their lives?
Well, we're talking about sanctification. We're talking about transformation. So we know that salvation is immediate, right? By God's grace, through faith in Jesus, we are saved. We have eternal life through Him, through the blood of the Lamb. But the sanctification part, for most of us, we struggle with. The actual change in our lives. These individuals that are at least being impacted by some of the ministries that we offer, we're starting to see real change. For example, people that were sleeping under bridges or abandoned buildings or couch surfing are now inside one of our 8 locations at Welcome Home Collaborative. Or the 3 individuals that were formerly struggling in terms of education or a job are inside Peace Café. Peace Café is a transformational program, so it's a job placement module. Once they're done with Peace Café, and our Peace Café manager says that they have the tools now ready to work for a restaurant or a food industry, then they move on. So we just opened in November. We think that process will take from anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. It's on an case-by-case basis, but as soon as they're ready, then they move on to work in the food industry as a full-time basis.
Our guest today, Pastor John Suguitan, pastor of Prince of Peace Lutheran Church in Cincinnati, Ohio. Thank you so much for being our guest and sharing the story with us. God's blessings on your work in Cincinnati.
Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate you talking with us.
Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to take a look at Pentecost hymns.
I'm really excited.
Squealing
I
over
know.
there from ear to ear. Good stuff. What a blessing to hear Word and Sacrament ministry in a city and reaching out through mercy as well to connect with the community and to meet those needs as well. Pentecost hymns up next. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.